texted me yesterday if is it possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him.
Canelo versus Crawford is that one fight that fans have always wanted to see, but boxing politics has had its play in making it happen.
And ability to cut off the ring is more, and he's bigger and stronger, and I think there's a risk there for Crawford, but this is why you tune in, right? Crawford keeps doing the amazing.
However, the fight was assured by His Excellency Turki Alakish, and in a recent face-off, Canelo revealed some details that make this fight even more worth the wait.
Yo, Turki, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes, let's go. Canelo, come on.
The thing is, while Canelo is about to fight Crawford, he also has a fight that he's chasing after, and it also seems he won't be getting the fight too. Let's catch you up.
Has the Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talks. With the right.
Terence Crawford is 36 years old, and he's all about fighting the biggest names now. He doesn't want small fights anymore. He wants fights that matter. Fights that people will talk about for years. That's why his eyes are on Saul Canelo Alvarez. To Crawford, this is the kind of fight that could change everything, and Crawford knows it. Crawford already made history. He became the first male fighter in the four-belt era to be undisputed in 2 weight divisions. That's something no one else has done. One of his recent fights was a complete demolition of Errol Spence Jr., another champion. Crawford dominated him from the first round and finished him off in the 9th. It was one of those performances where everyone watching just knew, this guy is special.
Well, how can a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do.
Now Crawford wants to face Canelo, who's also an undisputed champion. But there's one big catch. Canelo fights 3 weight classes above Crawford's last fight. That's a huge jump. Most people wouldn't even think about trying something like that. But Crawford isn't most people. He believes he can do it. Canelo hasn't been so sure. For a long time, he brushed off the idea of fighting Crawford. He said there wasn't much to gain from it. If he won, people would say Crawford was too small. If he lost, it would be a huge blow to his reputation. What's the point? Canelo used to say. But now, something has changed.
Everybody keeps bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, catch weight. We can do something at a catch weight.
What weight you think?
Probably 160 or something.
But you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158.
At a recent No Golf, No Life event, Canelo spoke about Crawford in a different way. He called Crawford a great fighter and said he's open to the fight, if the money is right. At this point in my career, I'll fight anyone, Canelo said, but it has to make sense for me. The money has to be there. Why not? This is where Saudi Arabia comes in. Turki Alakish is making big moves in the boxing world. He's already spent huge amounts of money to bring big fights to Saudi Arabia, and he's ready to do it again. His top target, a fight between Canelo and Crawford. The kind of money he's offering could make this fight a reality.
Heard Turki Alakish say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then.
But why is Canelo suddenly interested? Well, Crawford has been making moves. After beating Spence, he moved up to super welterweight and fought Israel Madrimov. He won that fight too, becoming the WBA world champion in the process. Crawford showed he could handle bigger opponents, but more than that, he showed a new style. He wasn't moving around the ring as much. He was more aggressive, more willing to stand and trade punches, and that caught Canelo's attention. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo admitted he noticed something in Crawford's last fight. "I'm in," Canelo said. "If the money is right, I'm ready. He's a great fighter, but for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. Easy money. I saw in his last fight that he doesn't move as much now. So, I'm interested.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight.
This comment stirred up a lot of talk. Is Canelo underestimating Crawford, or is he right to feel confident? Canelo has fought bigger guys, smaller guys, older guys, and younger guys. He's used to adapting to different opponents, but Crawford is different. He's not just a great fighter, he's a fighter who knows how to adjust. Against Spence, he was nearly untouchable. Against Madrimov, he was aggressive and powerful. Crawford can do it all, and that makes him dangerous.
I think that Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for.
Crawford isn't backing down either. To fight Canelo, he'd have to move up another 14 pounds to 168. That's a lot of weight, especially for someone who started as a lightweight, but Crawford seems ready for the challenge. He's not afraid of the size difference. For him, this is about proving that skill can beat size. Canelo, however, still has his doubts. Last year, he told Boxing Azteca that fighting Crawford might not be worth it. They'll criticize me no matter what, Canelo said. If I win, they'll say Crawford was too small. If I lose, it'll be even worse. It's a lose-lose situation.
If Crawford and Canelo were to come to fruition, you see that being competitive still, even with the 21-pound difference, Jim?
If I'm Crawford, I don't want to have to go up to 168 pounds to get the fight. I want to somehow gull Canelo into thinking that it's okay to fight him at, best of all possible worlds.
But Canelo's tune has changed, and it's clear why. The money. Saudi Arabia is offering massive paydays, and that kind of cash can make anyone reconsider. Plus, a fight with Crawford isn't just about money, it's about legacy. Beating Crawford would add another huge name to Canelo's resume. Losing to Crawford would be a shock, but it would also prove he's willing to take risks. Fans are divided. Some think Canelo's power and size would be too much for Crawford. Others believe Crawford's speed, technique, and intelligence could win the day. It's the kind of debate that makes fights like this so exciting. Everyone has an opinion, and no one knows for sure what would happen. But there's another layer to this story. Some people think Canelo has been avoiding Crawford. After all, Canelo dismissed the idea of fighting Crawford for years. Was it really because of the size difference? Or was it because he saw something in Crawford that scared him? Some fans believe Canelo's recent interest in the fight is less about money and more about trying to silence the doubters.
And the power. Or by no power? Yeah. We're not a roll with punches. We're not to take power. You can take your power away from. How you take a power puncher? Take the power away from a puncher. Let us know. What? No, I ain't gonna tell you. You should know.
Slide off, take something off the shot here and there.
That's one of them.
Crawford, on the other hand, seems fearless. He's chasing greatness, and he doesn't care who stands in his way. This isn't about money for him. It's about proving he's the best, no matter the odds. That kind of attitude is what makes Crawford so special. As of now, nothing is set in stone. Canelo is still weighing his options. He could fight David Benavidez, the IBF super middleweight world champion. That would be a big fight too. But the talk around Crawford versus Canelo is impossible to ignore. With Turki Al-Sheikh ready to make it happen, it feels like this fight is closer than ever.
I do wonder how effective Crawford can be if he keeps moving up in weight. You're starting to see that, now he's not quite as strong. The knockout streak is over, but he can box really, really well. But Madrimov pressed.
David Benavidez, the unbeaten super middleweight powerhouse, is no stranger to the dynamics of the 168-pound division. His opinion on a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez carries weight, given his deep understanding of the challenges fighters face at this level. In his conversation with Sean Zittel, Benavidez made it clear that while he respects Crawford's skills, the odds, in his view, are stacked heavily against him in a bout with Canelo.
We're looking for the big fight, Crawford-Canelo. Now we're preparing for this. You want to do everything, Crawford.
Benavidez's perspective comes from Crawford's last few fights and the significant size difference between him and Canelo. Crawford dominated the welterweight division for years and recently ventured into super welterweight territory, defeating Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA title. While Crawford's skill and adaptability were evident, Benavidez noticed something crucial in that fight. Crawford's power didn't translate as well at 154 pounds as it did at 147. I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the power he had at 147. Benavidez explained, "This observation is critical because power can be a game changer, especially against someone like Canelo, who has a granite chin and thrives in exchanges."
Canelo versus Crawford, the biggest fight in the game.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond.
Benavidez also pointed out the daunting challenge Crawford faces in moving up 2 additional weight classes to 168 pounds. It's not just about putting on the weight. It's about carrying that weight effectively against bigger, stronger fighters who are used to competing at that level. Canelo has been fighting at super middleweight for years and has faced some of the division's toughest opponents. Benavidez believes that Crawford, despite his technical brilliance, would be at a disadvantage in terms of both size and experience. If Crawford is going against Canelo in his first fight at 168, he has a lot of disadvantages against him, Benavidez stated.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Canelo.
Canelo, I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't up.
Canelo's track record at super middleweight underscores Benavidez's argument. He has not only unified the division, but has consistently shown that he can adapt to various styles, whether he's facing aggressive punchers or slick boxers. His recent victory over Edgar Berlanga Jr. further demonstrated his ability to control the pace of a fight and nullify his opponent's strengths. For Crawford, stepping into the ring with someone like Canelo would mean facing a fighter who is not only naturally bigger, but also incredibly seasoned in the art of handling fighters of all styles. Benavidez's perspective also highlights a psychological aspect of the matchup. Canelo's confidence in his size and power at 168 pounds could give him an edge, while Crawford would have to deal with the mental and physical adjustment of fighting at a weight he's never competed in before.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight, you know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you, but it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight, but I feel like if I deserve my opportunity.
The mental game in boxing is often as important as the physical one, and Canelo's comfort in his weight class could be a decisive factor. Moreover, Benavidez's analysis is grounded in his own experiences and observations as a fighter in the same division. He has sparred and fought against super middleweights who bring a unique combination of power and durability. This first-hand knowledge gives him a nuanced understanding of the challenges Crawford would face. Benavidez has repeatedly emphasized that fighters at 168 pounds are not just bigger, they are accustomed to absorbing and delivering punches with a level of force that can be overwhelming for someone coming up from lighter divisions.
Yeah, the size is an issue. Canelo is way bigger. This fight's at 54. He's got 2 weight classes to broach in order to get to 168 to fight Canelo. But as you said, champ, Canelo has become increasingly inactive in fights. He throws less and less punches.
Benavidez also touched on the stylistic dynamics of a potential Crawford-Canelo clash. While Crawford is known for his ability to adjust and outthink his opponents, Benavidez believes that Canelo's experience and ring IQ would neutralize many of Crawford's strengths. Canelo has faced elite technicians before, and his ability to cut off the ring and impose his will has been a hallmark of his success. Against Crawford, Canelo's ability to apply pressure and capitalize on his size advantage could make it difficult for Crawford to execute his game plan. Another critical point raised by Benavidez is the toll that weight jumps can take on a fighter's body. Moving up to 168 pounds would not only require Crawford to put on muscle, but also to maintain his speed and stamina, which are 2 of his greatest assets.
I mean, I can't really say nothing about that. If that's what he wants to do, then that's what he's going to do. Canelo is a man that he does anything he wants to do. I don't think really what people say affects him. But I feel like the people, they want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. It's the biggest fight to make happen, and I feel like I'm the biggest threat.
Benavidez pointed out that this transition is not as simple as it seems. Fighters who bulk up often lose some of the qualities that made them successful in lower weight classes. Against a fighter like Canelo, who is adept at exploiting even the smallest weaknesses, any decline in speed or endurance could be costly. What makes Benavidez's analysis particularly compelling is his respect for Crawford's skills. He acknowledged that Crawford is one of the most technically gifted fighters he's ever seen. This is not a critique of Crawford's abilities, but rather an honest assessment of the challenges he would face in this specific matchup. Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I've ever seen, Benavidez said, emphasizing that his prediction is not about doubting Crawford's talent, but about recognizing the realities of the situation. Benavidez's prediction also shows his understanding of Canelo's mindset.
I don't really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram. Right. If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled to it from what the...
Canelo is not just a physically imposing fighter. He's a master strategist who knows how to exploit his opponent's weaknesses. Against Crawford, Canelo would likely focus on using his size and power to wear him down. Benavidez believes that Canelo's ability to adjust and dominate at 168 pounds would ultimately prove too much for Crawford to overcome. In addition to his technical analysis, Benavidez's comments resonate with the broader context of boxing history. Fighters who move up multiple weight classes often struggle against naturally bigger opponents, no matter how skilled they are. The jump from 154 to 168 pounds is significant, and Benavidez's insights highlight the risks involved. Crawford's willingness to take on such a challenge speaks to his ambition, but Benavidez's perspective serves as a reminder of the obstacles he would face.
My good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more.
Benavidez's views add depth to the ongoing debate about a potential Crawford-Canelo showdown. His respect for both fighters and his detailed analysis of the matchup make his opinion one of the most insightful in the boxing world. While fans continue to speculate about the outcome, Benavidez's perspective underscores the complexities of this highly anticipated clash. Canelo Alvarez, the face of modern boxing, has never shied away from big fights, and his most recent remarks only add fuel to the fire of speculation surrounding his future. Speaking to DAZN, Canelo revealed the one man he dreams of stepping into the ring with again, Floyd Mayweather.
So long, but these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Motherfucker easy, man. Cakewalk, easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when
But as much as he'd love to avenge his sole professional loss, even the Mexican superstar admits the fight is little more than a fantasy. Obviously, we know it's not going to happen, he said. But yes, I would love to get rid of that little thorn. It's an idea that makes sense. The loss to Mayweather in 2013 still looms over Canelo's career, not as a blemish, but as a constant reminder of how far he's come since that fateful night in Las Vegas. At just 23 years old, Canelo was inexperienced and outclassed by Mayweather's ring IQ. The unanimous decision in Floyd's favor was more of a masterclass than a contest. And for a perfectionist like Canelo, that kind of defeat is hard to let go.
The others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down.
You know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many.
Now, over a decade later, Canelo is a vastly different fighter. He's stronger, smarter, and arguably the most complete boxer in the sport today. A rematch against Mayweather would be a chance to rewrite history, a chance to prove that the kid who stepped into the ring in 2013 is unrecognizable compared to the man he's become. Fans, too, would relish the opportunity to see whether Canelo could succeed where Manny Pacquiao and so many others failed. Mayweather, on the other hand, seems comfortable in retirement. Since hanging up his gloves with a perfect 50-0 record in 2017, he's dabbled in exhibitions, but nothing resembling a serious return to competitive boxing.
I mean, you fought Floyd Mayweather at what? You're 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, you know, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart.
Despite Mayweather's recent comments comparing his fight with Canelo to his bout with Pacquiao, there's little indication he's interested in putting his undefeated legacy on the line again. But what makes Canelo's dream even more intriguing is the way it intersects with his other ambitions. While the Mayweather rematch might be out of reach, a showdown with Terence Crawford is not. Crawford, a pound-for-pound great in his own right, has been circling Canelo's orbit for the past year. The fight, if it happens, would pit two of the best boxers of this generation against each other, albeit under circumstances that heavily favor the Mexican champion. Crawford's climb to super middleweight to face Canelo would be nothing short of historic. It's a move that even Canelo, despite his confidence, would have to take seriously. Interestingly, the Crawford fight could also serve as a stepping stone toward a more audacious goal, luring Mayweather out of retirement.
What I have to say to Canelo is this. You proved yourself already. You proved yourself. You fought a lot of great fighters.
While the likelihood of Floyd stepping back into the ring seems slim, a dominant victory over Crawford could be the kind of statement that piques his interest. Mayweather has always been drawn to the spotlight, and the narrative of unfinished business with Canelo could prove too tempting to resist. And Canelo knows how to sell it. By taking on Crawford first, he's setting the stage for a dramatic build-up to a potential Mayweather rematch. It's a genius move. Beat one of the best fighters alive today, then call out the man who defeated you in your prime. Even if Mayweather continues to stay retired, the mere prospect of such a fight would electrify the boxing world.
I like to speak the truth. Now, at 23, he fought Floyd Mayweather. He was 23, I was 36.
Canelo's ambition doesn't stop at Crawford or even Mayweather. He's hinted at wanting to clean out the super middleweight division entirely, leaving no room for doubt about who reigns supreme at 168 pounds. That's why the recent developments with David Benavidez moving up to 175 are so interesting. Benavidez has long been considered one of the few fighters capable of pushing Canelo to his limits. But with the Mexican monster seemingly out of the picture, the road is clear for Canelo to focus on Crawford, and perhaps even Floyd. Canelo's willingness to fight Crawford, despite the weight disparity, shows his respect for the Nebraska native's skills. He recognizes that Crawford's technical ability and adaptability make him a unique challenge, even if the physical advantages lean heavily in Canelo's favor. It's a fight that would test both men, albeit in very different ways. For Crawford, it's about proving he can hang with the big boys at 168. For Canelo, it's about cementing his place as the king of boxing. Well, what's your take on Canelo versus Crawford fight? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.